SB3EX.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, today I rise to ask you to vote no on SB3EX because it is in violation of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, it is in violation of Judge Steve Jones's order, and it is in violation of the will of the people. When I was younger, my family would go on road trips, and to pass the time, we would play a game called I Spy. Some of you may be familiar with it. It's a game where you give clues about something you're seeing, and others would have to try to guess what you're looking at. Well, colleagues, if you look on the monitors on either side of you, I spy with my little eye a congressional district carved up like a piece of pie. Can you guess what I'm looking at? If you guessed Congressional District 7, then you are correct. These maps blatantly target my Congresswoman, who, unironically, was also targeted during the 2021 redistricting cycle. While I'm sure the Congresswoman is quite flattered by the GOP map drawer's seeming obsession, it's not quite as flattering to the people of her congressional district that find themselves caught in the crossfire. And who are these people? Well, for one, these are my constituents. But in addition to that, if you have ever had a chance to visit Gwinnett County or come to my area, then you would know that this area is a beautiful tapestry of race, cultures, and perspectives. No single race or ethnic group holds a majority, while over 60% of the district is comprised of racial minority groups. This area would be a prototypical minority opportunity district or coalition district. During the 2020 election, most of the voters in my district, again, to be clear, one of the most racially diverse districts in the state of Georgia, voted in the Congressional District 4 congressional race. 2 years later, in 2022, after the 2021 redistricting cycle, they voted in the Congressional District 7 congressional race. If these maps were to stand, they would now be voting in Congressional District 13. 3 different districts and 3 back-to-back elections because the GOP wants to target one woman, a black woman who ran for Congress in response to losing her only son to senseless gun violence. A woman who, since being elected, has been extremely effective in Congress and highly responsive to the community she serves. The people elected her, and it is not the job of map drawers to seek to undermine the will of the people by targeting her, and thus targeting our area. An area that is not at all mentioned in the judge's order as needing to be remedied. The judge made it explicit as to where remedy was needed with our current maps. He named CD3, CD6, CD11, CD13, and CD14, all districts west of Atlanta as areas needing remedy, but somehow the map drawers got lost and found their way up 85 North into Gwinnett County, northeast of Atlanta. And by unnecessarily carving up this district into oblivion, the GOP map drawers eliminate a minority opportunity district. CD7 goes from 67% minority VAP to 33%. This is in direct disregard to the judge's own words, and I quote, and as many others have quoted, the state cannot remedy Section 2 violations described herein by eliminating minority opportunity districts elsewhere in the plan. So I had an opportunity to listen to the hearings, and I noticed that when people brought up the judge's actual words, the map drawers argued that Judge Jones actually meant black when he said minority. First of all, how audacious and disrespectful. Judge Jones is highly intelligent and incredibly capable of speaking for himself. When he meant black, that's exactly what he said. In that 516-page order, Judge Jones uses the word black over 600 times. So I don't think him using the phrase minority opportunity district was him all of a sudden misspeaking. He said what he said. The state cannot remedy Section 2 violations described herein by eliminating minority opportunity districts elsewhere in the plans. Before I conclude, I want to bring up the people. In addition to these maps defying the Voting Rights Act and subsequent case law that states that minority coalition districts are protected under the Voting Rights Act, and these maps completely defying the judge's very specific instruction, this bill and this map completely undermines the will of the people. I listened to the testimonies from the hearings, and I reviewed the public comments submitted up to midnight about last night. Then I had to go to bed. You see, I truly believe that public input is actually vital to the democratic process, and we should not merely set up public comment portals as window dressing or just to check off a box, but that those comments should be acknowledged, they should be considered, and they should be amplified. These comments come from people that send us here to do the job, and those comments and those people matter. That said, by midnight last night, there had been almost 550 comments submitted to that portal. Of those comments, people from all across the state, including individuals from Metro Atlanta, all the way down to Chatham County, all the way up to Fannin County, and more, spoke their mind. Almost every single comment, 550 of them, almost every single comment was opposed to the maps we are voting on or have voted on, or the map drawing process, with the exception of 3, and one of those just said rise up. I think they might have been on the wrong portal. Maybe you don't care about the Voting Rights Act. Maybe you don't care to listen to Judge Jones, but I would hope that you would care enough to know how your constituents feel. Their resounding sentiment is clear: vote no on this map. Don't let political greed or partisan posturing put us in a position where we end up like Alabama. I started out playing a little game with you called I Spy, but the truth is, this is not a game. Do you understand the gravity of this moment? Y'all, we are here because there are people in this chamber that voted to rob the people of their constitutional rights. That's why we're here. In 2022, people in our state were forced to vote on unlawful, unconstitutional maps. That is a serious thing. That is shameful. We have been called here to specifically right that egregious wrong. This map doesn't do that, and instead trades one unlawful map for another unlawful map while going out of its way to target a sitting congresswoman. That's not okay. Please do not vote to disenfranchise Georgia voters again. Stand on business. Vote no.